need a loan, you either have to have a loan on if you have 2 loans going, I mean, I wouldn't even afford to have 2 loans going. We would have had to go, like, live someplace else or live with a friend or something, but we have, 2 dogs and kids. And
my parents were living with a friend.
Yeah, so, like, if you're able to do that, but I don't know, it just kind of depends on, like, people you have coming along. All right, so the last thing we'll talk about in terms of, like, figuring things out here is an escrow account. And this is something that, like, one of those added things, kind of like when you think you're buying a car for a certain amount of money and all of a sudden they're like, hey, there's taxes, or like even just like we bought our phones the other day, Mr. Nani got a new phone and his old phone got traded and we still had to pay the taxes on the new phone, so it was more expensive than I thought it was gonna be. So things, like it's kind of one of those extra things. An escrow account is your bank's trying to help you because at the end of the year you have to pay taxes on your house. You have to pay the property taxes for living where you live. And then also typically you have to have house insurance. So what your bank tries to do to help you is tell you to set up an escrow account, or they might even make you do that. That's where they set aside the taxes and the insurance for your house for you all year. And then at the end of the year, they help you to pay it. They either pay your insurance or they send you a check at the end of the year to say, hey, pay these taxes. So it's kind of a little savings account, and so I just have this chunked onto my house payment. So it's kind of a little savings account for taxes. And insurance. And you need to have insurance on your house because if your house burns down and you would have nothing left. But if you have insurance, they'll give you money for everything in your house.
So there's numbers that's on 7%.
Unless you're a narcissist and you burn your own house down.
Sometimes I can fun. Okay? Sometimes burning things down is fun.
All right. So trying to show you guys that, so this 20-year mortgage, taken out with our loan here, rate, but they're going to make us do escrow here. So I want to show you guys how that adds more money onto our bill each month. So we're going to figure out the total monthly payment. So we're going to do the first half like we've been doing. We're going to figure out the monthly payment using this information here. So our 20-year mortgage, there's our amount, our 147, so we're going to do that. We're multiplying that by the number in the table. Hopefully 6.5 is on here, yeah. So 6.5% for 20 years. So that's 7.64, or sorry, 46. So this is our normal monthly payment here. This is saying we're adding this escrow on. So we have to add more on. So that's not all you just pay. Now, again, some banks don't make you do this, but if you don't do this, then you want to save because your tax bill typically is in the thousands. Like this one says the taxes is $2,400 per year. If you don't have that when the tax bill comes, you have to just have $2,400 ready to go. So it's kind of nice that your bank sets it aside for you. They kind of just hold on to it. So this $2,400 and the homeowner's insurance, we're going to put those together and we want to break them up over the course of the year. So we're going to add them together and divide them by what? Course of the year? 12. So we're going to figure out how much per month we're going to add onto that escrow. So what I actually send to my bank each month is the monthly payment and the escrow together. Now they just lump it together. I don't even really look at it typically. I know it's there. It's at the end of the year when the check shows up and I have to go pay my tax bill to the village, then I need to have that money ready to go. And so it's nice that it's there, that the check is there waiting for me. So I'm going to add those two together. So what I actually paid in my mortgage each month. So again, this is kind of showing that there's just these add-ons that we kind of forget about. You think, oh, that's not a bad house payment. But then we're adding on about $300 a month of money that maybe you just didn't realize that was part of it, that you needed to include. So that typically is what actually gets sent to the mortgage company each month. All right. So we talked a little bit about credit scores throughout this chapter. I want to talk to you guys a little bit more, kind of trying to show you like what type of credit scores, when you hear those numbers, like what they mean. And then, like I said, I'll help you guys get started on a couple homework questions. So they call it a FICO credit score. It's called the Fair Isaac Corporation. So I don't know if it was like a company they just dealt with.
It's who the government decided.
Yeah. So credit scores can range from 300 to 850.
So if you have 300 scores, it's suck.
Right.
The banks hate. Banks never pays back the loans.
Now, the lower the score, the worse your credit is. So you think about like having a high grade in a class, so you want a high credit score. So this is bad, this is good, or perfect.
Never misses anything.
Mm-hmm.
You're probably still lower because they decided you haven't been paying, you might be over.
So it ranges, there's different like little groups depending on like how they rank you. So like they call them like good, very good. They call these people high risk down here. They're not anticipating someone down here maybe is going to pay it back. So it's possible that person doesn't get a loan at all. Like you can just be told you're declined for a loan. They try to show it here. Again, we kind of talked about this a little bit before. So someone that's getting the same exact house, their monthly payments are lower, or if their credit score is better, but also look at what they pay over the course of a 30-year loan. So the comparison there is just understanding that over the time, they're just losing more money. So yeah, kind of getting yourself into a bad situation, trying to get that out. So the good question is how can we fix this? So early on in your life, you get yourself into some trouble with credit, you want to make sure that you can improve that. So they give us some tips on how to improve our credit. And even like, what is that? So you want to pay your bills on time. So like doing this immediately. So that's any kind of bill that you send off. So like the electric bill, my phone bills, like paying if you pay a cell phone bill, you're billing credit by paying that off each month, paying that on time. Being late, they start flagging you and you get like points docked from your credit when your payment is late. It doesn't they might not even tell you like you're late. Then you get a fee or something like that. So trying to get basically all your payments up to date. So if you're a few months behind on your rent or a few months behind on your phone bill, they haven't cut you off yet, that you try to get that caught back up and try to be current.
And they paid like 20, maybe $100 more. Like, hey, let's forget about this.
Mm-hmm.
It's never happened. It's not a bribery.
Now, you don't have to actually have 0 as your credit balance on like credit cards. Like having some like credit over like 0 is okay, but having that, try to have that balance as low as possible is a good thing.
Use it like once a month.
Yeah, you want to use it, so you don't want to just have a credit card and just have it like not being used. You want to use it and then pay it off. Having the same credit card for a long time, or even like I said, like Verizon. We've been with Verizon since Mr. Donahue and I like met, so like 20 years ago. So like I mean, as long as we've had cell phones, we've had Verizon, and that's actually building our credit because we've been with the company so long, and like they report to credit companies because of us paying a bill. So being with somebody for a really long time or having the same credit card, so like Ryan opened a credit card, he should keep that credit card for his whole life. I mean, don't just close it to close it. Typically they don't close on their own, so you have to do something about it, but so keep business with the same cards. Now, I don't have a ton of credit cards. We've talked about that I have like a Target card, I have a Costco card, but I don't have credit cards for every store I shop at. But every store I shop at tries to make me get a credit card with them. I don't need a credit card for every store I shop at. The more credit I have out there isn't always a good thing. I don't want to have like, 10 different credit cards from every different store I shop with. So making sure that you kind of limit how many you allow. And don't open too many accounts too frequently. So you wouldn't want to open a whole bunch and then try to get a loan. So like kind of here and there, opening them is okay. I'm going to say infrequently.
So we can
So yeah, not opening a whole bunch all at once. And then again, like when you're trying to improve your credit score, and there is places you can check your credit scores, but you also want to keep checking it. I think there's some that'll say like we're, because sometimes when they check it a lot, that actually lowers your points too. So just being careful that, like obsessed with that.
If you want to know.
Yeah, I know. I feel like there might be, I don't know, there's some companies out there that say they don't, doesn't affect your credit card, yeah. I knew what our credit scores were when we got our loans, but I don't, it's not like I checked since that, like, yeah. Pass one back for, so how are we on this? Do you guys want an example of something? Are we okay?
Sure. We do all of them.
All right, let's do number 3 together.
Oh, come on, let's do 4. Make an even 4. No one likes word with odd numbers. Do it. Make it even. If you like odd numbers, let's do 5. What's the point on it? Working on different, do 11.
All right. I'd be glad to do number 3 with you guys, and then I'm gonna flip it over and do number 13 because that's similar to like number 11 and 10, or 11 and 12.
That's on the
Okay. All right, guys. So again, they want the table for this. For number 3 here, they want us to use the table in our notes. Wants to give up on me. Kate, I think you're supposed to stay here today. No, she asked that the smaller number of people went down there, because Miss Miller's not down there. Thank you. So I'll get you guys started on these. Just, I don't know how many extra people they have down there. Alright, so we're gonna get you guys started on that. If you think you have it already, feel free to ignore us, but why does it keep doing that? Dang it, sorry.
Because it wants you number 4.
I know, apparently. Yeah. Yes, I know.
And how long would you pay me back? How long would it take you to pay me back?
Yeah, you just basically drop off those, yeah.
You'll be able to pay me on Thursday.
Interest.
Alright, hopefully this works better. Okay, so, like I said, we're gonna do number 3 together because you're supposed to do 4, 5, and 6 on your own. But if we do 3, then hopefully, so we look at this number as 168.5. So you basically look at it like where the comma is. That's gonna get multiplied by using the table. So 4% at 25 years.
So you're 168.
So I'm just multiplying those two, and that will give us our payment per month. I did it again. I multiplied the wrong number.
Come on, you weren't even talking.
I know. I keep using the. But okay. So $889.68 is what you pay per month here. Now, this is not talking about escrow, so this doesn't include the insurance or the sale or the tax at all. Do you guys want a little time to work on the next ones and then I'll help you? Or do you want me to do another example real quick? Do another one? Okay, let's flip over the page here and let's do 13 or 14.
12.
Okay, 14. Okay. So in 14, again, we have to figure out the monthly payment, but then this time we're going to add on the taxes and the insurance. So again, we're doing 283. I'm multiplying that by 5% for 30 years. 5% for 30 years is 5.37. But that's not going to be my final answer.
You have to add those other numbers as well.
Yeah. So this is just the house payment. But then we have to add on these taxes and insurance. But remember with this, those are for the whole year. So we're going to take those and divide them by 12. I put those together and divide them by 12. Now make sure you hit equals before you hit divide by 12. So we end up adding on 358.33 in just the taxes and the insurance. So our overall payment is like $1,800.
Per month?
Per month. But if you look, I mean, this is a big house loan. You know, like that's an expensive house. There's some like fancy houses that their taxes are more than like my mortgage. So like if you want to buy like a house like on Lake Drive in Milwaukee, well even like the ones like, you know, yeah, like crazy, their taxes, their property taxes are more than probably all of us pay for our home itself. Okay? So this one is similar to obviously the ones right before it. And then these are similar to like what we were doing as our example here. So our first example. All right. So you guys have about 20, 25 minutes to get working on this. Please use your time wisely and then not have to have homework